All right, here we go. This is the news for the day. A dude said he slipped and fell down, and a bomb went up his ass. I mean, you know, that excuse, it's a tried and true excuse. I mean, people slip, and when they slip, they fall, and you can't control where you fall. And this time, it just so happened that he fell down on a World War II artillery shell, and it got stuck up his ass. That makes sense. That's honestly like the only way that could happen, unless he was just into sticking bombs up his ass. World War II specifically. Let's read the article. All right. Army explosives experts were scrambled after medics feared the anti-tank round could be about to explode. And this shell, like this guy's hand is here, it looks about this big. So it's like a LaCroix can. Shout out to the unofficial sponsor. All right. The bomb squad raced to Gloucestershire, God, what a name, hospital after a patient arrived with an artillery shell stuck up his behind. The Sun can reveal the unnamed patient, who was a civilian, told medics he had slipped and fallen on the armor-piercing projectile that was in his arsenal of military collectibles. It's armor-piercing. I mean, I'd get off on that. If I could stick an armor-piercing projectile up my butt, I mean, that's kind of like, I could brag about that to probably myself. Probably Joe. Joe would probably get it. He'd be like, you know what, I get bored too. The unnamed patient told doctors he slipped and fell on the 17 centimeter by 6 centimeter armor-piercing projectile taken from his private arsenal of military collectibles. It was later identified as being a World War II 57 millimeter shell that were typically fired from 6-pounder anti-tank guns. All right. A source told The Sun, the guy said he found the shell when he was having a clear out of his stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was his stuff, and he just so happened to find it in his stuff. Doesn't seem like you lost it. Doesn't seem like you just kind of discover something if it's in your stuff. But anyways, and especially it's like this. It's like a World War II memorabilia. Anyways, he said he put it on the floor, and then he slipped and fell on it. That's what he did, and it went up his arse. Because overseas, they say ass way better than we do, and they give it two different letters. They give it an R and an E, and they cut out one of the S's. A-R-S-E. I love it. Quote, he was in considerable amount of pain. I think he collected military memorabilia. End quote. Well, yeah, no shit. I mean, you got to come clean on something. Yeah, I also, collect a lot of military memorabilia and have shoved it all up my ass. Arse. Police said they responded to a, quote, a report that a patient had presented with a munition in his rectum. All right. A spokesman added the item had been removed prior to police arrival, and the Army's explosive ordnance disposal team were contacted. Troops from 11 Explosive Ordnance Disposal Regiment rushed to blah, 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 hospital in Gloucestershire. A defense source said it was a solid shot round. It was a chunky, pointed lump of lead designed to rip through a tank's armor. I'm beginning to understand the appeal. Quote, it was basically an inert lump of metal, so there was no risk to life, at least not to anyone else's. This guy's kinky. The Sun doctor, Carol Cooper, said the patient could have died if the round had pierced his gut. All right, yeah, we all know this. We've all seen the video with the horse. Okay. She added, Quote, the range of objects that are pushed into rectums is incredible. From wine glasses to ketchup bottles and parts of Hoovers. You mean vacuums? Hoovers? Hoovers? Hoover, yeah. I mean, yeah, vacuums. All right. Wine glasses. That would be sketchy just because it's glass and it could break. Like that would be the worst. That would be the worst outcome. I feel like if a bomb exploded in your ass, that wouldn't even be that bad because you would die. Like I feel like that would be a quick death maybe, but like a bleeding out by broken wine glass in your rectum? I don't know. You'd have to put the ketchup bottle up there as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm just making up crazy scenarios. The only way I would do a wine glass is if I also did the ketchup bottle. Just me. Leave comments and tell us what you prefer. Sadly, it is an everyday occurrence in A&E. This happens all, but I have never heard of the bomb squad being called out before. I feel like I train a few British people, and actually one, and he's pretty funny. He would love this. I'm going to send this article to him. A hospital spokesman yesterday said, quote, as with any incident involving munitions, the relevant safety protocols were followed to ensure there was no risk to patients, staff, or visitors at any time. End quote. The mod said, quote, we can confirm an Army explosive ordnance disposal team was called out to Gloucestershire at the request of local police. I got it right. The sheepish patient is understood to have been released from the hospital and is expected to make a full recovery. Oh, sheepish, eh? Quite sheepish. Didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to speak to the press on this one. Yeah. If he did it on accident, he would have absolutely talked to the press on this. He'd be like, yeah, you never think these things are going to happen to you. And then one day, you're cleaning out your storage unit, naked, as one does, and, you find a little artillery shell from World War II, and you just place it on the ground, standing vertically and erect, and, somehow you slip and you fall, and somehow it winds up inside of your ass. You never thought that something like this would happen to you, and then it does, and then you're like, wow, God's a comedian. That's one approach to talking to somebody in the press about this. Like that, I mean, I would do that. Like I feel like I would talk to the press about it. I would do on a press tour. I would seriously do a press tour. Like, Stephen Colbert. I do all the late night shows. I definitely do some podcasts. It'd be a great way to get on, random podcasts, talk to people, you get to meet crazy, cool people, just from a crazy story, and it's just a story, right? It was an accident. Let's see what else it says. Police said they responded to a report that a patient was... That's it. Wow. This is pretty crazy. But every day? That stuff happens every day. If that happened, if I ever heard of something like that every day? Oh my God. Like people are sexually repressed. You know what I mean? I get it. It's a tough world out there. It's a tough world. But try to find smaller objects, right? Like a bomb? A bomb. I mean, that's a ballsy move. I mean, which one's more ballsy? Wine glass or bomb? I don't know. It's a banger of a time now. That's stupid. That doesn't even make sense. Banger of a time. Yeah. I'm honestly just thinking about what I'd shove up my ass. I don't really know. I don't know what I would do. But when I find out, I'll let you know. Okay.
Fucking skunks, dude? Hell no. Scratching your eye, but it's still fucking itchy, dude.